Afternoon. Hello folks. It's Tuesday. So it's time for another rant, Tuesday rant. It's not really a rant. It's just an opinion. Again, I'm going over quite a number of speed bumps here. I'm not jumping up and down in anger. I'm not really that bothered about it. But I thought I would talk for this particular rant, this musical rant, about compact discs, CDs. Now, I've got a CD player in my car, though I must say it rarely gets used, and I'm a fan of CDs. That said, I do use it for audiobooks, rarely for music. And, well, I'm sure you'll guess or realise, oh blimey, these trees are down again. Just letting that lady past in a car. She didn't seem very happy with me, but I don't know what I could do other than drive over branches on the road, large branches. Anyway, CDs, compact discs. Why don't people use them these days? And I'm relating this I'm relating this rant to musicians, of course. But the general public has fallen out of love. Oh, let me just pull out of here. Don't want to crash into that ambulance. The general public has fallen out of love with CDs. Don't get me started on vinyl. I might get onto that later. Now, why have they fallen out of love with CDs? Superior quality to the replacement, which is MP3s and streaming. But the general public, I guess, doesn't really care. And certainly, they're not consuming their music on particularly good hi-fi equipment these days. It's just all earbuds. Or what I've noticed with my daughters, not recently, but in the past anyway, they just listen to the music on the phone without their earbuds. They just sort of play it through the absolutely garbage speakers on their iPhones. So a musician spends, a pro musician might spend £100,000 recording an album, maybe more, considerably more often, considerably less in some cases. But whatever the musician spends on recording music so that it sounds the best quality possible with all the balance of sonics, it doesn't get reproduced because a tiny speaker in a mobile phone only produces a very narrow frequency band. Just waiting for these cars to go by. A narrow frequency range or band, and it's just all very tinny. Now, I know that could be an argument about that helps you determine what is a good song or not a good song, because if it catches the imagination, I was going to say sounds good, but I don't mean that, but if it catches the imagination of the general public on an inferior quality audio playback iPhone or Android, then it's obviously a good song. But really what I'm thinking about is CDs in terms of a musician, because in the past a struggling musician playing local gigs, doing his or her own music, very difficult to actually get a gig, to be quite honest. Not many places are interested, so you end up having to do covers all night and occasionally throw one of your own in. A good tip is not announce it as one of your own songs, just say, oh, here's another song. One thing I used to do, going back a few years, I used to say, oh, here's a song, I don't know if you know it, it's a pre-release new Oasis song, and then I'd just play a song, one of mine, and it held the attention. People listened. It wasn't an Oasis song, obviously. But anyway, the problem with gigging and playing your own original material is it doesn't pay very well, if at all, if you want to do your own material, as I say. So what musicians used to do in the past was sell CDs at the gigs of maybe 5 or 6 songs, 10 songs, whatever, that they'd recorded, and hopefully sell 10 CDs. Sometimes you would sell that many, sometimes you'd never sell that many, sometimes you'd sell many more. But try and sell CDs, so it gets your word out about who you are, and it helps compensate for the fact that you're not getting any money for the gig. Well, if you do get paid, it's not very much at all. I've never seen this junction quite as bad as this. Nobody's been particularly helpful. I'll tell a lie, she did, to let me out. So now that the public has fallen out of love with CDs, that revenue stream of selling CDs for a band or a solo artist to try and generate some kind of income has disappeared. And it's not very easy to just to say, well, it's easy to say it, but it's not very easy to get people to respond to it. If you say at the end of the gig, oh no, if you go on iTunes or you go on Spotify, and because people go, oh yeah, and they never bother after the gig. Unless it's an immediate sale, they won't go back to it, or very rarely anyway. So, what do you do instead of CDs? Well, there are other forms of merchandise. I refuse to say merch. I'm going to say undice instead. There are other forms of undice that you can sell, caps, shirts, etc., etc. But it's not really the same as being able to sell music to promote yourself, because yes, somebody might buy a shirt, somebody might buy a hat or whatever, but that person has already heard you and likes you. Consequently, that's why they bought the undice, not merch. Oh, now that's handy, she's going forward. So I'll just sneak through here. Makes it easier when I'm leaving later. So if that person has already bought the merchandise, cap, shirt, they can only tell their friends. Saw a band the other night, really good. Oh, what are they like? Have you got anything I can listen to? No, but I've got a shirt you can look at. Or a cap. So I wish there was a way that we could think of reintroducing CDs so that the general public buys something to help compensate for this atrociously paid gig that you've just done. So that's my rant, really. My Tuesday rant. I'm now at Tesco. There's a cafe there. I've never been in it. Might try it. Bit hungry. So, there we go. I'll leave you to think about that. If you can think of any way to compensate musicians when they're doing a gig in your local pub, then let me know. Use the comments section. Again, I'm not going to do that bit where we'll use the comments down below. Oh, can't be bothered with all that. I'm still trying to get to grips with people calling me a tuber. I know I'm fat. They keep yelling at me, YouTuber. So, and all that pointing at things, oh, here's a link on the screen. Oh, can't be doing with all that. So anyway, use the comments. I was even going to say like and subscribe and all that. It does help out. It doesn't help you out. What do you get out of it? That's what you're thinking. I know. But in the long term, it could help me out. So, like and subscribe. Leave comments. Until you get, I think it's 1,000, I'll have to check this. Until you get 1,000 people subscribing to your YouTuber channel. YouTuber? What do you mean a tuber? Unless you get 1,000 people, it's only then you can monetize people watching your videos. And you have to have, I can't remember now. Is it 5,000 hours? No, it can't be. Maybe it's 1,000 hours. 1,000 hours of screen time. Again, I'll check that. But whatever it is, it's quite considerable, the amount of work you've got to put in to then earn something like a penny or less for every time somebody watches one of your videos. So, yes, creating a YouTube channel could be one solution for bands, but unless they're making 5,000 views per video, it's not really an income. But anyway, it's fun to do. Anyway, it's starting to chuck it down again, so I'm going to pause here. Well, probably stop here. I've had enough ranting, and I'll nip into Tesco, and I'll see you at the next one.